Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode. A Sunday episode of Barum Engines. Didn't get around to doing one on Friday, so I thought I'll pop in, put me washing in the washing machine for the week. That's me work clothes, mine, not my own stuff. She don't make me do everything here, just me work stuff, because she says it's dirty, a bit oily, and it mucked up the old washing machine. So I've had to buy her another washing machine and put mine here. Anyway, popped in to put that in, and I thought I'd just do a video, because I've only done a couple last week. First of all, guys, I just want to start off with something that we used to do more of. Not so much now, usually focus more on the technical stuff. But coming into a new year, 2026, just want to sort of ask you guys, you can obviously answer in the comments down below, how's our mental health? I haven't gone on about that for quite some time. I don't know whether you've noticed with myself. Don't want to just talk about me, guys. There's plenty of people out there that suffer and or have suffered in the past. And it seemed like a subject that I used to bring up that people really appreciated, because it makes them feel like they're not on their own. I'm not one of these that tries to hide it. I think there's a bit of a stigma about mental health, definitely men's mental health. Fortunately, I do think with the internet and social media and that now, I do feel like it's becoming a bit more accepted to sort of open up and tell everyone about it. So you all know what I'm like. I've never sort of tried to hide it and act that I'm this macho person that never suffer with anything like that. But yeah, coming into a new year, guys, I don't know whether you've noticed, but I do seem a bit better. I had a bit of help last year, went to a few therapy sessions and what have you, and I do feel like I don't think when you suffer with depression, mental health, anxiety, stuff like that, I don't think you ever get rid of it. What I try and explain to people is, certainly with anxiety, anxiety is like a language. Everyone suffers with anxiety because it's like a natural inbuilt sort of process, your fight and flight system. But I think when you actually suffer with it, you need to learn about it. And it's like a language. Once you've learnt the language, it's like saying, well, I don't want to ride a bike no more. Well, if you can ride a bike, you can ride a bike, and you always will. Once you've learnt that language, you then can start to see things a bit different. You have to sort of start thinking slightly different, and it will always be there. So you're very conscious of it. You will always sort of not suffer. Suffering is, I feel, is the way you sort of think about it. You've got to change your thought process and just adjust it and not work your lifestyle around it, but go with the flow, basically. And I seem to be getting to grips with it, and it's put me in a good place. So this year I've come back, the first week back, obviously last week, we've been really busy. We've had loads of stuff coming in, loads of stuff in the pipeline. We're booked up now for a few weeks. Got stuff in the pipeline for February. So really, really happy, and I'm in a good place, guys. What I'm starting to notice, when I'm in a good place, I tend to enjoy things or want to do things that before I probably wouldn't have bothered to do or didn't really want to do. You know, like silly things at home, like painting and stuff. I used to hate painting, couldn't be bothered with it. If I weren't at work, weren't in my normal routine, I'd sort of almost go into a bit of a depression on a Saturday and Sunday. But now I quite like to get stuck in and do things that I never really enjoyed before. So that's a good thing. Let me know, guys, down in the comments if you've been all right lately, how you're feeling, and yeah, I think it's quite a good subject to talk about. And having a YouTube channel, even though it's on engine building and an engine building company, I think it's good to talk about that, and it's a good excuse to communicate with people out there that suffer with the same things. So if you don't suffer with mental health, guys, I'm sorry about that. You can just fast forward to the technical stuff. Anyway, we have got, actually, some of the work that's in at the moment and coming in is work that I would really, on the quiet, I've sort of tried to aim at. So obviously, with the yellow Escort, doing that cross-flow engine, although it isn't running yet, in a couple of weeks, we're going to have the throttle bodies on, we're going to have it all set up, and then we could start driving it, seeing what the progressions become, having sort of built the engine the way we have, see whether it's a good thing, a bad thing, whether it's produced more power, more torque, less torque, don't know. But quite looking forward to doing that. But the whole reason for doing that really was to try and encourage people in with the stuff like the cross flows, the Pintos. Obviously we do a lot of the Cozzies, not just the Ford stuff, but all the other old stuff really, the 70s and 80s stuff. Still a lot of it out there, and really, really enjoy doing that sort of stuff. So if you've got anything out there of that era, guys, and you're unsure when to go or where to go, give us a bell, give us a shout. But most of the work that is sort of seems to be creeping in, especially the beginning of the new year, seems to be a bit of that era, really. We've got like a couple of cross flows. We've got a couple of Pintos coming in. Obviously, the Cosworths we're always doing. So, yeah, really good work. Really enjoying it. This one here, guys, is a Cosworth. So this turns out, actually, I think it was just before Christmas, the guy messaged me and said, you know, can you do a liner job on a 200 block? The thing's been studied before. It turns out he wants us to modify the 6 long stud holes, which we have done. So that includes, because we're using the old studs here, what I don't want to do sometimes is go out and just encourage people to spend money unnecessarily. So if people have already got these old style Burton studs, so that's the one with the machined in O-ring groove in the centre, the 17mm diameter, what I tend to do, usually you find that they've all been drilled down 120mm. So these ones here where the core plugs are, I've said this many times before, guys, let me just get me torch. But you see down there in the base of the block, get a bit of light in there, they've all been drilled down 120mm usually. So what we do there is we drill and tap 100, or drill down 125 and then tap it. So it's an extra 5mm, and you can see where there's no threads in the top of that. And what that is doing, so I'm trying to get some focus, what that is doing, guys, is bypassing the first 5mm of that lug. You can see it's an actual lug in the base of the block there. And if you don't do that, and you don't go 5mm deeper, you can run the risk, and I have seen it before, where that lug, that casting actually breaks off. And once that happens, you're in a bit of trouble there, because that's about 10 or 15mm deep. So that's the amount of threads you're going to lose. So that's the first thing we do, guys. Next thing we do, we just put me, set my camera back up, guys. I haven't got Isaac today, so it's all a bit seasicky. Sorry about that. That's why I want to set it up there. So with these old studs, what I tend to do, obviously if we haven't got studs, what we do is we go and buy the ones, the ARP ones, which are slightly longer anyway. They come without this section here. And then we use this blue O-ring, which is a sort of replica of that groove, you can see, and that goes down into that 17mm hole at the top. So what I do is machine this off flush with that, and then you can see here you've got basically an extra 5mm up there. So then we wind the stud in and then put this O-ring in. I'll just get it over the threads, guys, if I can, and that O-ring will sit on that top 5mm. You can see that, look. And that will be where the surface of the block is. So the thing goes in an extra 5mm, we've done away with that, and then we can utilise the studs we've got. Save them sort of 350 quid, really. So that's what we're doing with that. We've obviously put the liners in this block. I actually got 2 Cosworth 200 blocks linered last week, so I did 8 liners. We've linered it, you can see we've cleaned, blasted, painted it the good old Ford black. Cranks there, so this one has been balanced, polished, obviously measured, it's all good. Everything's cleaned up. We've got a nice fancy clutch and flywheel there, light flywheel and an aluminium clutch cover, lovely jubbly. We've got the pistons there, which we've got a pocket next week. We've got Bridgeway rods, which we all know that we love. New oil pump, a few bits and bobs, guys, and we're going to be building the man a short motor. So looking forward to that. We have got the other one that I have put the liners in. Is another job that we've got to go ahead last week on, and I promised him this for February. So that's this one, guys. We have gone on this. I know that I've probably repeated myself a bit here, guys, but this is the one that the customer picked up from a company that had the engine for several years, and I mean quite a few years, was took down there as a complete engine and picked up in bits minus a few bits. And one of those bits was a crankshaft that was missing and also a set of rods. He wants to go big power, so what we've done, he's gone and bought a new crankshaft, and that is from Mar Motorsport. Lovely crankshaft. You can see it comes sort of semi, not knife edge, but definitely lighter. It's a standard stroke, standard size, lovely crank, and it is the harder, tougher material. We have also bought him a set of con rods. We've got the studs there to go in. We have got a set of Bridgeway con rods, yeah. and he has got the pistons already. So these are a JE piston, they're a Cosworth replica, and they are slightly higher compression, which is a good thing because he's running an aftermarket ECU and he wants to run up to about 9:1 compression ratio on that. So that's what we're going to be doing exactly. And then we have got this crossflow over here, guys. So this is the one that came in on the back of us doing that yellow Escort engine, which is a great thing. It was our full intention all the way through, and this is another one in that beautiful, what we call pinto blue, but slightly got a slight purple tinge, looks lovely. And this one is all ready to assemble next week. You can see we've faced, bored. Well, actually, we didn't bore that, it was already bored, and we've just run the hone down there, and it's come up absolutely perfect, no marks whatsoever. Getting them all clean, guys, and we're going to start assembling them next week. End of the month, we want to have all this lot, if we can, out. And we have got a couple of great jobs next month. An autobiography, 5 litre supercharged V8, lovely jubbly. So we've got that engine to do, full go through, no problems with it, only a hydraulic tap in. Customer just wants to go through it, refresh it, because it's done about 150,000 mile, and he's done everything else, supercharger and all the rest of it. So yeah, going to go through that, and it's going to be really interesting to have a look in amongst that and see what it's like, see how expensive parts are, or how expensive parts are not. See what it all entails, guys, and probably tell you exactly what the overall bill is going to be on that. So just before we go, guys, on this Sunday, I won't bore you anymore. I'll let you chill out and watch Bullseye or whatever you did, or am I about 30 years out of date there? I've been messaging Ryan. Now, Ryan is the guy that owns the paint shop, Retro Rust, that has got our BMW. I know a lot of people have been asking about our BMW project. Where is it? When's it going to be done? Have you still got it? Has it vanished off the face of the earth? No, Ryan has still got it. He's cracking right on with it. He updated me last week on the bonnet, basically prepped all the bonnet and put that in a primer. So what he's got to do now is a bit more prep on the inside, underside slightly. He's got to do the bumpers, the boot, spoiler, a few bits like that, fit those. And I did message him this morning, actually, with a bit of a laughing emoji on the end, saying, do you reckon we're going to see the BMW this year? And he said, I really do hope so. I'm taking from that that is his plan to get it done certainly this year. I'm hoping the first half of this year would be nice, guys. We can crack on with that. Will the BMW and the Escort van both be done this year? Who knows? Let's just wait and see and keep our fingers crossed. But until tomorrow or Tuesday, who knows? Have a great weekend, guys, and I'll see you then. Cheers. Enjoy your Sunday lunch.